So it's that time again. It's England player ratings. It's good fun, it's highly subjective, so don't worry if my ratings are different to yours, but do let me know why they're different if they are different. So welcome to this video supported by Lifting Giants, and of course this was a really good performance by England, but it was very close on the scoreboard and they could easily have lost, so I wonder how that would have affected the ratings. Hopefully not too much, but we're going on performance, not just the result. Here we go in the forwards. Ellis Genge, the baby rhino, did what he does best and carries super hard and explosive. In the scrum, I don't think he's ever going to dominate top opposition, but he wasn't dominated himself, so I think that's what we want from Genge. 7.5 out of 10 I think, although a few comments saying he did something a bit controversial, a bit violent in the game, which I haven't seen. Please let me know what that is and where I can see that, but at the moment 7.5 out of 10. The captain, Jamie George. I like his leadership. He's very cool, he's very calm. When things go wrong, England don't seem to panic, so that's good. A couple of line-out mishaps maybe, but around the park he was as good as he can be. He's not the quickest, he's not the most explosive as he's getting older as well, so I think he pretty much did as well as he could do. 7.5 for him. Dan Cole did his job in the scrum and seemed to hit all his marks in attack, and the attack was quite quick, so he clearly kept up with it, and I didn't really notice in my head thinking, God, Dan Cole is slow, so for me that's good. That's a win for a 36-year-old prop. 6.5. Second rows, what a great pairing. Very, very physical. Maro Itoje, his reputation when he was younger was a ridiculous second row athlete, but a bit of a penalty machine, but he's so ridiculously athletic it didn't matter too much. Now in his latter days, I guess, although he's not that old, but later on in his career, he's that old head, he's reliable, he's the master disruptor, and he's better at choosing when to disrupt, when to do the dark arts, when not to. So Itoje is crucial in every part of England's game, a nice solid 7.5. Then George Martin, built like an English oak tree. This young guy is a brute in the best possible way. Lots of balance in the scrum. Tight play, he really helps to punch around that ruck. He scares opposition with his physicality in the tackle as well. He absolutely destroys some people. So similar to Ireland finding young Joe McCarthy, I think this was a bit of a coming of age for George Martin as well. We need a scary second row, and here he is. I'm giving him a 9 out of 10. Maybe I rated him too highly because I'm getting excited, but I'm going for it. I don't think he really did much wrong there. So Ollie Chesham at blindside, I was a little bit worried with that selection, but he did look quite liberated from that heavy work that Itoje and Martin were doing, and he could put himself about a bit more like a flanker, although he is a third second row, a good line-out option of course. He injured himself tackling Aki, but he soldiered on, so a good performance from him. A 7 out of 10 I would say. Sam Underhill, another good game for him. Tough work in the tackle of course as always, but a really nice bump and offload for Furbank's try, which in the match review I credited for George Martin because they've got the same headwear, so apologies there. So I bumped his score up a bit. And his stint in the 7 shirt might not have come about if Tom Curry was fit, if Jack Willis was still playing in England, so he's taken his chance. Another decent performance, not ever going to be the quickest back row out there, but doing a good job. 7.5. Then on to the star man, once again, man of the match, Ben Earl. At 26, he is in the form of his life, absolutely. England could do with 2 of him really at 7 and 8, although Underhill's doing well, but a couple of him would be good because he is doing everything. He's carrying like a monster, his breaks from nothing are amazing, and he's doing the work in the breakdown, and I think it was just a brilliant performance, so 10 out of 10 for me. Let me know if that's getting carried away, but I think that was a 10 performance. And of course a mention for our sponsor Lifting Giants. They're the only company to invent proper lifting blocks that fit your hands. They've been scientifically tested, they improve your line-out quality, they're reusable. Use the code RugbyAnalyst20 for 20% off. Then on to Mitchell. Alex Mitchell thrust straight back into the starting shirt without the game time, and he did great for it. He mixes up the kicking, passing and running really well, so you don't quite know what he's going to do. I like that a lot. Plus, of course, he was playing in the best attacking game for England, and he helped that flow for sure. Maybe if I was nitpicking, I'd just like him to look a bit more confident on his face. I do like scrum halves to look like they've really got this. There's not a worry in the world. That kind of Aaron Smith look. Maybe that's just his resting expression, and I'm being unreasonable. But I think an 8 for him is a good score. Then on to George Ford. He's an interesting one. We know he's a marvellous passer and he helped that England attack for sure. He's got a good rugby brain, but unfortunately that's kind of where it stops. He is tiny in defence, although he's doing his best I think, but he offers zero running threat. So the defence know they can almost leave him, and the likes of Aki and Henshaw can just track down the other centres and gobble them up sometimes. And this time out, his goal kicking was truly atrocious. 2 badly botched drop kicks as well. Could have cost England badly, but he didn't. Don't really think he's the man. I think maybe his time has gone there. A 5 out of 10 for me, but let me know if he deserved higher. Into the centres, and Ollie Lawrence, what a difference catching the ball makes. He looked full of power and menace, making that gain line which England needed. Is he truly an inside centre? I'm still not convinced. And that defensive combo with him and Slade leaves a lot to be desired. Is it just they're not good enough at the blitz yet? Is it the system? Is it the players? Still not sure. A little bit penalty prone, but he definitely gave England that go forward they needed. Well taken try. So a tricky one to score, but I think a 7 is probably about right. Henry Slade, another tough one to score because some of his touches were brilliant. His passing, his kicking, he plays like a fly half at 13 because, spoiler, he was a fly half that moved to 13 because he couldn't get the game time at 10, and he's done a great job at 13. But defensively, he doesn't hit that hard. He tries as hard as he can. In attack, he's a bit lightweight, so I don't think he's the perfect player for England, but he's doing a job. Are the problems with the blitz his fault or not? I don't know, but I'm giving him a 6 for this game. Then the man we needed, Emmanuel Faye-Wabusu. England needed some sort of pace and power. We had a bit from Furbank and a lot from Faye-Wabusu. The only question is, why didn't Borthwick start him earlier? His only big mistake in that game that I picked up was not listening to the ref on one jackal and gave away a penalty. Aerially, he was confident, he hits hard in defence. I do think he's got an all-round game that can be really developed to an all-round winger, and his breaks were absolutely vital. If he didn't get all the way through, he took men with him, got England on the front foot, and I'd say his running game is world-class, definitely. I hope he's here to stay. Stick with him. 8.5 for Faye-Wabusu. Then, wing commander George Furbank. Where do we go with him? Absolutely crucial in England's counter-attack game, which was the best of the tournament. Some lovely passes, injections of pace. He made tries, but he also made some really poor errors. He excites me and worries me in equal measure, so it's hard to score. He's lightweight in attack, so if he gets isolated, which is fine if you're quick, you're going to get isolated, but you've got to stay strong, go down in your own time, and he can't really do that. Gets turned over. Hard to score. I say he's a net positive in this game. We'll see if he gets better. 7 out of 10 for him. Theo Dan. This guy makes an impact every time off the bench. Very consistent. Obviously more destructive in the ball carry than George, and increasingly trusted to be with a set piece as well. His lineouts look good. Half an hour this time. Never been a weak link. I think an 8 out of 10 again. Are some starts coming for him. Then Joe Marler, the whole front row came on at once and they all did well. No fireworks from the veteran, nothing really wrong. I think a 6. Will Stewart came on. His first carry was really good, got England out of trouble. I don't think he's ever going to be one of the best around, but another solid job. And he's been pretty consistent in this Six Nations. 6.5 for him. Then the man that gets the crowd going, Chandler Cunningham South. The way he winds up into those ball carries and collides with an explosion is like a young Sebastian Chabal for sure. He made a huge impact the little time he was on, but devastated to see his injury. From his face it looked bad. Hopefully it's not as bad as he thinks. Could be a nasty knee injury. We'll see. Let me know if you've got any info, please. 8 out of 10 for him. Don Brandt, he lost his 8 shirt to Ben Earl, and I don't think he's going to get it back unless Earl moves to 7. But he came on and had a good little spell actually, and made some good contributions. No big errors. 7 out of 10. Danny Kerr, didn't like this as a selection. Yeah, 100 caps is fantastic. He's been amazing for England, but the 37-year-old doesn't have the zip anymore, and some of his passing was horrible. But anyway, 5 out of 10 in this game, but he can bow out, I think, with his head held high, but I don't think he should keep playing for England. It's not his fault he's selected, but I don't think it's there anymore. Marcus Smith. Great to see him back. He looked fully fit, and physically he offers so much more than Ford, but hasn't had the reps on the pitch, so hard to know, would he have done better than Ford for the whole game? I don't know, but I do think he is England's 10. Does he play next game is a great question. For his contribution, 7.5. Of course, he hit that winning drop goal. Would have had a shot with a penalty kick as well, but prefer it was over with the drop goal. Then finally, Elliot Daly, and I've consistently not really selected Daly unless it's a kick chase game as a winger. If not, he offers virtually nothing at this level. I don't think his running attack is particularly there. I don't think his defensive threat is there anymore. The first thing he did when he came on was attempt a long kick that wasn't on, got charged down, took that call on to take the long shot at goal when it was really a long way out and probably not going to go over, and they should have probably gone to the corner. But anyway, don't really think he should be playing for England anymore. So 4 out of 10 for this game, but not his fault he was selected, but not filling me with confidence. So those are my scores for this game and why I gave them. I'd love to know what yours are. Put all those comments below, and I'll catch you next time.